Well, this is the Peru Board of Aviation Commissioners monthly meeting. So we'll start out, the meeting has been posted. We got a roll call. We have everybody here tonight, Chris, so you can start checking the names off. Couple of guests out here. We have Kay, Kelly's wife, and Dave Chableau. Glad to see you folks here this evening. First off, we'll start out, Joe, with your report on Hanson.
Okay, we had a final walkthrough on the project last week. There's a handful of punch list items that Smith Excavating said that they were going to take care of yet this week. And I was out there just before the board meeting, and it looks like they haven't quite got there yet. But they did an excellent job, and kudos to a local contractor. I do have one pay request. It's a partial pay request that covers a Hanson invoice for construction administration and observation. It is for a total of $57,963.91. It's a federal share at 95% of $55,065.71. A state NDOT share of $1,449.10, and the local share of $1,449.10 as well.
Okey-doke. Motion to approve this pay request number
3
3.
for AIP 30.
I'll make a motion for pay request number 3 to
Excuse
be
me,
approved.
it's 2 for AIP 30.
Second?
Second.
Second, Phil. Okay. This was for the site construction work that was done, just recently completed out at the airport for the new hangars that we hope to get out there one of these days. So are there any questions about any of this?
No. Like you said, they did a good job.
Yep.
So I see they replanted some grass down there by that one drain. So
Yes, that's part of the punch list. Take
Okay.
care of it. It was basically erosion control that did its job, and we just got a good rain.
Exactly.
So
So now it looks good.
report that our next step is putting together the grant application for the design of the hangar, and we will do that this winter. And in hopes to staying with your program, we will hopefully get it constructed next year, pending the grants.
Okay, well, we're anxious to get them up there. We've got some demand. I'll keep pestering you. We're gonna have to figure out how we get them a couple feet higher, because we've got a couple of airplanes that need a little more clearance to go in those.
Sure.
So, but we'll figure that out. All right, any other questions or comments regarding this? There being none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And do we have a copy for us to turn in?
Yeah, if you can sign that, and then I will send you a scanned copy of it,
You
fully executed.
pass that over to Joe. Anything else tonight, Joe?
I do not. Thank you.
Okey-doke. Well, I know you have a long drive home, so if you want to take off whenever you feel like it, you're free to do so. Next is we'll discuss our financials, and just real quick, as of the end of July, our unexpended balance against our budget was $37,171, or about 37%. So we got 5 months, and that's a little more than 37% of the year. So we'll have to see how that keeps working out. The fund balance is $10,000. So we're a little low there, but we should see some money coming in. We should get about $58,000 from the wetlands mitigation refund coming back in. I'm estimating that we'll get about $40,000 of tax revenue, but we won't see that till sometime in late December. That'll be based on the November tax payments. And we've got $10,000 as a current balance. So we got about $177,000 to work with. And we may have some other sources of revenue that we can work with, that we can get some things accomplished. And I've kind of got my agenda tonight helter-skelter, but we'll work our way and get through it. I did get a current price, and just a point of information here then. Well, first of all, we'll get to Kelly's report, the manager's report. So you're a little down in the mouth?
Yes, sir, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll read it for you.
Chris is going to share it with us.
For the month of July 2025, the Peru Municipal Airport sold 201.89 gallons of 100 low lead, which leaves us about 1,514 gallons, of which 600 is not usable. We also sold 2,281.85 gallons of Jet A. Now that leaves us about 1,841, but 300 of that's not usable. The land moving work was completed for the South T hangar, and the final inspection on that was done August the 25th. And Kelly has here a side note that we had an electrical failure in the main lobby and the main hangar. And he's given me thanks for diagnosing that problem to a burnt out outlet. And he appreciates us for saving some tax money on that. And also he gives me a special thanks for the help on past work that I've done and for helping him change the 2 100 low lead filters, which we completed that Saturday. And so that's been completed and is done, which also helps save the taxpayers money on this also. So anyway, that's the report.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Kelly? Okay, let's back up. I got ahead of myself, as I sometimes do at these meetings. We needed to approve the minutes from our last meeting, and they're right there at the beginning of your report. So did you all get a chance to take a look at them?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I'm good.
You,
Yep.
you want to make a motion to
Making a
approve?
motion, we approve the last month's meetings as written.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of July 8th. All in favor, any questions or discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we can get back down there. Kelly, you got the fuel, or got the report there. Our fuel report then, this month I do have a good one for you. We have a total credit balance at AvFuel of $48,000, a little over $48,000. And that can be credited to our July sales of all that jet fuel. And we had a good sales month too on the 100 low lead, but between the two, we were 34,000 at the end of June. So it was a very good July fuel sales month for us. The current price to us for 100 low lead would be $4.14, which is not much improvement over the fuel that we have in the tank or down in the ground right now. So I'm not real anxious to buy any more 100 low lead, and we've got enough. We can probably go a couple months unless we again get a run on that. But we did get a little bit better price to us on jet. And if you look back in here, I did do one of my fancy fuel reports for you. So I've got the fuel the fuel blend, and I'll just review as I've done in the past. I take the amount of fuel that's in the ground and what we paid for it, and then I add to that the amount of fuel we want to purchase and what we're paying for it, and then blend those two together to come up with an average cost of the fuel that we would then have in the ground. We pay 20 cents on every gallon that we sell in excise tax to the state of Indiana. We want to have some profit on that fuel, try to get 50 cents on our 100 low lead and $1 on our jet sales. That comes to a total, in the case of our situation right now, $4.86, and then I bump that up 3% for card processing fees, and that's how I arrive at what I think we ought to be selling it for at our pump. And so that would, and with the fuel, if we bought 2,000 gallons of fuel right now with that $4.14 price, our last time we bought it was $4.20, so there's not a big differential there. So we still would come out about the average of $5 a gallon retail, which is where we're at right now. So there's not much purpose in putting another 2,000 gallons in, and we got, would you say about 1,200?
1,500, 600,
1,500, so
And that-
that,
900 gallons.
and that,
That fuel was put in October of last year on that 100.
that's correct. So but I would say let's go ahead through August and September and see how we're doing.
Yeah.
We will have to put some fuel in there in October to keep that fresh, to keep our fuel supply where it needs to be.
Yeah.
On our jet, again, what'd you say, anyway, our jet averages out, I figured we could put about 6,500 gallons in the jet tank and still stay in that 80% range. A jet tank's a 10,000 gallon tank, and we can only go up to 8,000 gallons in it. You got to keep a 20% a pocket of air up there, and you can't fill it right up to 10,000. In that one, though, we go down through the math on that and blend it together, our cost would be $381. And if we went, and that's with that dollar profit built into it, if we went at 380, we would be below everybody within the 45-mile radius. And I keep close track on those that are right next door to us: Grissom, Wabash, Kokomo, Logansport, Rochester, and Marion. And the closest one to us would be Rochester, and we would still be 17 cents a gallon under them. Now, what's the significance of that? Well, Kelly or Chris was telling me today about a fellow who was flying a helicopter the other day, and Chris heard him go over, and he went down and looped around and came back and landed because he had the fuel prices right there on his
He did.
GPS or whatever, and he needed fuel, and he came down right here to get it because we were a good price. He was going from Chicago down somewhere. So
He
pilots
checked
are
it.
not a lot different than people driving cars. They will look for a good value on their fuel. On the 100 low lead, we are not at the $5 range. We got a lot of competition on that one up and down. We're close with about everybody, but we do have some competition in that market. Now, I think I will go ahead and order the 6,500 gallons of jet fuel. And
That's the most we can order, because that puts, we put 6,200 gallons, that puts right at 8,000 gallons in that tank then.
yeah, well,
So it'd be-
we'll be 300 gallons over. We'll be okay on that. We'll sell some between now and when I get it. All right? So anyway, thanks for looking at that.
Yeah.
Here's my question. Joe, I'm glad you're still here. Is it feasible? Because what we really need to have is the 12,000 gallon tank for jet and the 10,000 gallon tank for gas, which is the exact opposite of where we're at. Is it feasible to work with Hoosier or somebody like that and pump those tanks out and swap them?
Yes, I believe it is. In fact, I think Kentland just went through that not too long ago.
Okay.
Let me do just a little bit more research and we can get back with you.
Yes, I appreciate that. So, yeah, if that's not outrageous, well, I think that's something we ought to try to do, because that would be beneficial to us. That would then, and what that would allow that we can't do now is a full truckload's 8,000 gallons. And I can't, as I say, I'm gonna get 6,500, so if I could go ahead and get the other 1,500 gallons in there in that sale, I'd get a better price on the shipping on that, getting it down here. And that would make us even a little more competitive. And that's where we're making our money on fuel sales, is on that jet.
Yeah. Okay.
Be
Yeah,
the time to do it right now, wouldn't it then, Jim? I mean,
Yeah,
when
that's
you're
why
low
I
on
don't
fuel.
want to get just too anxious about filling
Fill it up.
anything up until we
Yeah.
learn a little
Yeah.
bit more about it. So, but anyway, that's where we're at with our fuel supplies and our fuel sales, so we're looking pretty good there. Keep that number I gave you just a minute ago on where we're at with our credit report. And what that does for you folks, and Dave, for you, is when we do not handle any cash sales out at the airport. Everything's a credit card sale. We buy our fuel supplies from Avfuel up in Michigan, so every time a sale is made, that card money gets processed and goes into a credit account which belongs to us. Now, our goal there is to always have enough money in that fund that we've got what we need to pay for a load of fuel. It'd take about 20, if we had to fill up both our jet and our aviation gas, take about $25,000 at current market prices. Now, we rarely ever do them both at the same time, but that's what it would take. So probably keeping about a $25,000 cushion in there is where we want to stay. It did take us about 10 years to build this thing up, so we want to use it judiciously. Okay. Any questions on anything so far? Okay, on items we've been talking about for some time, we'll hit them real quick. We keep considering wanting to have the city council come out to the airport so we can show them around. And a lot of the folks that are on this body probably aren't real familiar with the airport and what we do and what we've got and what our responsibilities are and that type of thing. So just sort of an educational thing. And then if possible, and we could work it out with a couple of our pilots and any of them wanted it, we could give them a flight around the community and the airport and see what it's like. You got to promise though, Phil, if you do that, when you turn final, you got to quit screaming, we're all going to die. Anyway, so that's what that one's about. Civil Air Patrol trying to get a stand-up, a squadron, that's just still on the table, but not much has happened there. The government surplus equipment, that's still on the table, but we just got to do some more research. We have to get some things going there. Now, tonight, I think the big thing on the agenda is to start talking about some of the major projects that we've got to work on out here. And I've got some information on it. I am going to jump ahead to the Air Zoo trip, though. It's going down toward the bottom. I did get 3 quotes. One was from Imperial Travel over at Lafayette. One was from Lafayette Limo. One was from, well, I can't think of the name of it, but you see their charter buses running up and down the highway. They're white buses, and they say Miller on the side of them. And they're based out of Indianapolis. They came back with a number of like $5,000 or $6,000 to do their trip. Lafayette Limo couldn't give us a price. I told them we wanted to do this on November 1st or 8th, and they provide shuttle service at Purdue football games from the parking lots into the stadium and back, and there's a game on each one of those Saturdays, so they're available to do it. And then Imperial Travel came back to us, and they gave us a number of 20, I think it was, 24 something, and then by the time we added in a gratuity and $50 for the Wi-Fi, it came out to be $26.33. Then you add to that, there is admission up at Air Zoo. I put a copy of that in. If we took a bus load up, I think they'd give us a little help on it, but it's $18 for an adult, 16 for a child, 5 to 17 years, $15 if you're a senior citizen. I don't think we have any of those. And children 0 to 4 get in for nothing. But by the time you add that up, you add a stop that evening for dinner, this is going to be an expensive trip. I think it's going to be very hard to sell. It's going to probably be about like a $75 ticket if we can fill the bus up. So we can still pursue it and see. Now, the one thing that Imperial Travel will do is that to secure the date, we got to get them paid. So they need a check for $2,600 here pretty quick if we want to lock up one of those dates. But if we cancel on or before the 15th of October, 2 weeks, then we get our money back. And I think if we did do this, and we had that up there, we would have a pretty good idea by the middle of October whether this thing's going to go or not. So I don't really need an action item on it, but do you want to continue to pursue that?
Yeah, I mean, if we want to take a look, if we want to go, I just think you probably have a hard time getting people to actually, one, they won't know about it. How are they going to find out about it?
Well, we'll do a lot of media marketing, and Carl works on that to get us out on Facebook and that kind of thing. Joel has suggested if we're going to do it, we buy a banner and put it over the bridge down there on Main, the Norfolk Southern Bridge. You always see signs hanging out there promoting different events in town. We've all got email in our computers, and if we'd all just would blast that thing out to all of our friends and neighbors on an email and ask them to push it out on theirs, you start getting a lot of response from that. So those are probably the 3 ways I would see that we would probably do most of our marketing to try to get the word out and try to get interest.
And we have our Facebook on for the airport, right?
We have the airport Facebook page.
Yeah.
We'd put that on there, and then anything we put on there, we'd want that to come to each one of us, that we put it on our Facebook page and push it out there again and ask everybody that looks at the like and share and everything. I mean, the only way that stuff works is you got to just throw that net wide.
Sure.
We could make stops up at Rochester and Plymouth, and I don't know if we'd pick many people up at South Bend. They'd probably just, if they were going to do something like that, they'd probably just drive up there. It's about an hour for them, or maybe even not that much. But Rochester and Plymouth, we might pick up a few riders. One time, 2016 trip we did, and we went down to the Air Force Museum, and we picked up people in Kokomo and Indianapolis on the way down. Made stops at locations that were just right off the interstate, and picked up, Bill probably picked up about a dozen people between the two.
Okay.
Okay? Thoughts or comments?
No. When do we start our advertising campaign?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get with Carl here after the meeting, and we'll get some ideas and get started on it and see where we can get going. And give me a motion to pay the 20, what did I tell you, it was 20,
26.
the 2633.
For what?
For the Imperial.
For the bus,
Oh, for the bus, okay.
so we can lock up our date.
I'll make a motion to pay that 2633 to the bus company.
Okay?
That's refundable if we decide to back out.
We've got to make that call on or before October the 15th. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Carl seconds. Questions, discussion? Okay. And then we'll press on. I put together, I got ramblings down here, for lack of a better word, on things that we need to get on top of. We got to start getting some decisions made on what we're going to do. We got the hangar roofs. Now, these are my opinion. The hangar roofs are in dire need of attention, so I kind of push them to the top in my mind. Joel, I think, feels like we would be better served if we made the sealing the runway and taxiway a top priority. I kind of pushed it out 1 or 2 years in my mind.
Could go either way.
Okay.
I don't know how serious the leak problem is.
Well, there's just the roof in general, and I thought that I know I put pictures of it back in here somewhere. Anyway, some pictures that were taken of yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
And those were all taken on the south hangar, which is actually the newer roof of the two. Now, I've got some quotes on it. I got another quote here tonight to do some work on it, and Chris got a quote. So we got quotes that are all over the place. But just these are the quote numbers I'm using on the hangar roofs are Nature Lane, which is a company up in northern Indiana, and he came down and looked at it. And for the north hangar, he's looking $39,000, and the south hangar $32,500. That is not a metal roof. That's going in and treating all of the rust areas. That's tightening down screws, nails, caulking, sealing, and then applying a tape-type product along the joints between the panels,
Yeah.
and then putting a coating over the top of that, and it's got a 10, 12-year guarantee on it. The numbers we had been seeing on a whole new roof were nearly double that. I think we were looking probably somewhere closer to $60,000 on each side. Now, the same company did send me an alternate quote here the other day to do a metal roof on the metal roof. This is on the, this would be on the south hangar. That's 10,000 square foot, and it would be $32,500 to do a metal roof. 10,000 square foot metal roof, metal roof restoration. That is not the quote that we want. That's to do what I was just telling you about. 39, oh, come on. I hate it. Every time I try to organize myself, I get so confused. Metal roof, remove old metal roof and install new metal and trim, be $49,200.
Wouldn't really make sense to fix a roof for 40,000 then.
So, yeah, that's true.
Be better to go.
It's about $10,000 more money to put new metal up there on this quote.
I think you'd be better off to do a little patching to get us by for a year or two for $3,000 or $4,000.
Okay, and so, and I do have the Reed quote in here somewhere, so, yeah, here it is. Yeah, Reed Roofing gave a quote, okay, his quote was to replace loose fastener screws with longer screws where needed, seal all new fasteners with butyl sealant,
Butyl.
sealant, seal existing fasteners and screws where needed with butyl sealant. All work to be completed in leak areas only. Reed Roofing will provide a certificate of insurance upon request, sample enclosed. Labor and material would be $3,000 to $5,000. Was that on both buildings or just one of them?
I'm not sure what he had on there, so like, existing, I'm not certain on that.
Okay, we may want to
We'd
go
ask
back.
Dave, but
Back and see, even if it's just one building, it's still substantially less. Schleckenbach brought in an estimate today, it's not real descriptive anyway. Replace loose screws and nails, caulk and seal all other screws on entire hangar, estimate $10,000.
He said the do south hangar would be 7,000 then, so that's just for one building right there.
Okay, okay. So that's north.
Yeah.
well, I can give you my experience. I've had about 15 leaks in my building on a similar, not a flat roof, but fairly flat. And Reed came out and took them 3 times, but they got 95% of the leaks done right now. And it was only $600 to $700 each time. So
Okay,
I think to get us by, 2 or 3, 4 years, maybe it might be the better option.
okay. Let me run through some of the other things I think we need to be looking at. Okay, we got to seal the runway and taxiway. I've got remodel the restrooms. I don't know if you can do it for $1,500 or not. I just threw that number in there.
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
And secure the old Boyer hangar, the B hangar. That's a 3-sided hangar just to the north of our building. We had a lot of work done on that a few years ago, and I don't know whether the ground has washed out underneath of the post or what, but some of the posts are getting loose again. So we need to secure that and get it a little sounder structure. I don't know that that would take a lot. I think we spent about $6,000 when we had it worked on. It was really in bad shape, and to secure it. So I just, again, swagged in there $2,500. I believe I worked it up somewhere anyway. I think we're going to have probably somewhere around $70,000 to $75,000 that we can work with if we take money out of the credit fund on fuel. We get the $58,000 back. We get $10,000 in tax revenue coming in right at the end of the year. And starting with the $10,000 current funds we have, I think we're going to wind up somewhere with about $70,000 that we can work with on some of these projects. So just give that some thought, and there may be some other things that are more critical than the ones I was trying to think of and write down. But we need to make a decision. We need to make a decision on what we want to do with these roofs, and that's probably the number one priority. And then with these lower bids, and if we go with what Chris is suggesting, just get the real basic work done on them to try to keep them going for another 3 to 5 years, then I think we'd probably have enough money to do that, and then take a look at doing the runway taxiway seal project. and still have a little money left to carry over into next year for some of the projects we may have.
Is that seal coat quote still good?
I'm guessing it is. That was just given to us a little earlier this year, and that's, again, that's one we'd want to get.
Oh, Andy, yeah, he did some stuff out in my shop there, and he's done different things around town.
We've used him quite often. In fact, we've used him exclusively up until this last crack seal project. And we just felt like that those cracks were wide and deep, and that the company that did that does a lot more airport work and had the equipment and the people to, they came back 3 times because some of that sealant material was going down into the ground so fast. There had been washouts underneath of it. But that's been taken care of, so that ought to be pretty good for a while. We shouldn't have any crack sealing to do this year at all because we just got it done this spring. Next year, I would say, well, we'll always have some, but it shouldn't be a great deal. So,
That's good.
any thoughts?
What do you want to spend today?
Well,
What do you want to make a decision on today?
I'm saying this, the seal coating is a relatively inexpensive item compared to what is out there for the amount that's done. 45,000 is pretty reasonable for that.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
And that includes striping and painting.
yeah, exactly right. So I understand the roofs are leaking. I'm not a proponent of just patching. I've never been that way, but I'm willing to patch if we can get the runway taken care of, because I think that's I understand the hangars are bringing in money, but we also want to keep that runway a viable runway
Oh,
for
yeah.
our transient people.
Yeah, no, if you,
Because I've noticed some of the grooving is going away. Okay, so we need to get that sealed up.
okay. Other thoughts or comments? You're nodding approvingly, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, maintaining your runway is a grand assurance.
Yeah.
More so than the hangar is, so
Yeah.
absolutely. Should be a
Yeah.
priority.
So,
Okay.
understanding that we don't have much to play with, but if we're going to put priority on it, that's my thought.
Okay.
I mean, my hangar's not leaking, so I'm good.
Well, we'll take the screws out of yours and put it in somebody else's. Any
But
other
I've seen
comments?
hangars.
Joel, you got any thoughts?
I'd defer to
Joe?
Jim's expertise. I think, if you don't have a good runway, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the grooving I've noticed going away, probably you too, Kelly, is
Yeah.
down on the, like, on one,
Yeah.
down at the very end. So it's not terrible,
Yeah,
but it's pretty amazing how it's wore away there a little bit
yeah,
rather than where you hit.
yeah,
Well, there's drained water, I believe, so.
yeah. They're doing all these airports that way.
Okay, I would entertain a motion that we give Mr. Hobbs the job of sealing and painting and working on that. We're gonna have to work real close with him because we don't want that runway closed for a long period of time. It'd be good for him to get out there in October, or if he can, or
Are we talking
sooner.
about just the runway or the runway? and-
Runway and taxiways, the way I
Both of them?
understood it. Get them both taken care of this year.
When was the last time that was done, Kel?
Runway's never been seal coated. That runway was rebuilt about 18, 19 years ago then.
So we're past due.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I think that was, I don't know, I came on the board in 2011. It was done within a year or two after that, I believe, so 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So it's 12, 13 years old, so it'll be coming up on its 20-year depreciation scale in the mid-30s. So we know it takes a lot to maintain them. I know, I don't know that he spends it every year, but I know that Chad over at Logansport just plugs $50,000 a year into runway maintenance. So, and we usually try to spend 12 or 15, so. Okay, I do want to sit down with Andrea and confirm that what I think is the case with our money is
Actually, the case.
actually the case, yeah, before we sign the contract and go forward. I believe I'm pretty darn close, but I just want to confirm that with her. So I would, with that caveat, I would entertain a motion to extend the contract for $45,000, excuse me, to Andy Hobbs to seal and paint.
Did that include remarking?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it did. And remarking of the runway.
With beads,
Yeah, with the beads.
as I
Yeah,
found out.
yeah, yeah. Okay, motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion for to approve the
Chris has made the motion to,
45,000 for Andy Hobbs.
Second.
got a motion and a second, and make sure that that's with the understanding that the monies are what we think they are.
And
Correct.
that's Andy's current price.
And then that's still a good price.
We don't know what's happening to
Okay.
cost of material lately.
Now, when we get past that, when we still may have some money, as we see how things are working out through the end of the year, we still may have some money that we can pick off one or two of these smaller ones down at the bottom. And if they don't happen until they,
I think it'd be a good idea to see if we can't fix some of those routes, at least especially the ones that are leaking,
yeah.
so people keep their airplanes there.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything else? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Well, it looked like a big agenda. I don't know that I really have anything else to share with you guys. Is there anything else for the good of the cause?
I'll wait till I get the approval from you now, we'll contact Andy then, so.
I sent the board like an email of like the ambulatory services that we talked about with Bruce, and I think Joe, I think you were at one of them too, like potential for commercial services to work with us while we're doing the hangar project and whatnot, to see if maybe they'd be interested in like a custom build or something like that, for like maybe a potential for like a helipad or, you know, something like that, based on our location and stuff like that. So I sent everybody before we got here an email addressing all that, and I'd like everybody to look over it for next meeting, and maybe we can get on the agenda for next meeting as well.
Okay.
Or we can open it for discussion.
One of the other thing I was going to mention to you, this was just a passing conversation. I'm trying to remember where I was at. But anyway, it was over at the Fort Wayne Air Show. And I ran into some booth there from Sweet
Aviation.
Sweet Aviation from up at Fort Wayne. And so I just asked him, I said, would you guys be interested in doing some kind of a partnership with one of the small rural airports and offering a charter service or something of that nature? I said, yeah. So that was the extent of the conversation, and I got out of the hot sun. But anyway, so we'll reach out there and make some contact. And Carl made contact up there, it's been 2-3 years ago, and talked to some folks. So we'll get up there and see what, if any, kind of a relationship could be put in place. And I don't know that that would mean basing an aircraft or anything, but it still might be beneficial to at least say we have that service available in the community and in the area and market it.
A charter service. Yeah. Yeah, why not?
If they had a 53-passenger airplane, we could use them.
I was gonna say, I wonder,
They're a, what's the European one?
The planes they have over
Yeah.
there, DA7,
Cirrus.
Yeah.
DA40s?
Is it Cirrus?
No, it's a Diamond.
Diamond
Diamond, you're right.
aircraft. They're a dealer for the Diamond aircraft.
Yeah,
And,
they got a bunch of them.
You see that around, and I think they either manage or have some relationship with, the port, and there's a number of other small airports. You have Napanee, Goshen.
On the north, that north circuit?
Well, just in general.
Oh, well, I forget what we talked about now. It seems like we were thinking about maybe Crawfordsville?
Yeah, Crawfordsville.
Maybe Crawfordsville
Yeah.
and Warsaw and Peru, and maybe if we could think of one other airport.
Yeah, we've got kind of two different conversations going. I think Sweet is either the FBO or has some kind of a financial arrangement with Goshen, LaPorte, Napanee. Now, Napanee is part of the Goshen County airports, and so I think they may be actually managing those facilities. Now, I'm not positive about that. And then Joel was talking about the possibility of, at the end of this year, if we want to try something a little different, because we're trying to do things to create activity out at the airport, instead of doing the first Saturday of the month fly-in breakfast. Now, correct me if I'm getting a little off base on this, Joel, and having the safety seminars with it. There's a group of airports up through northern Indiana, as you mentioned, Warsaw being one of them, and is Sweet one of them up at Fort Wayne?
Warsaw's not involved in the suite operation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, LaPorte's one of them, I think, or Michigan City.
LaPorte is in that.
Yeah, and so
So what do they do?
they do a lunch, like what
Lunch, yes.
so what, they just, anyway, the pilots fly around to these 3 or 4 airports. Do they do it once a week or once a month?
One day a month for each airport.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's just kind of a social thing, but
yeah. And maybe get some fuel sales.
you get some fuel sales out of it.
Yeah.
And another thing, an interesting thing that happened to us is that, you know, when you're looking at the value and the significance of an airport, you never know what's going to pop up. But I was out there one Sunday, and Joel was out there. I think Kelly was out there, and some folks had flown in to go to the singer guy, the band, the weekend for. I can't.
Cole Porter Festival?
Yeah, the Cole Porter Festival. But
Yeah.
can't admit that I couldn't think of that out here in front of God and everybody else, but anyway. And so anyway, so we were having a conversation with this gentleman, and he owns a couple of, and they're not cell phone towers, but paging towers in the area. It was his business. He flew a nice Cessna 172, I think it was, and with his wife, and his daughter apparently lived here in the community. She drove out, and they'd gone downtown to the Cole Porter Festival, and they were really impressed with it and thought it was quite a nice event. And then furthering that conversation, they saw the poster that Joe, you folks made up for us, that show the design plans for the new hangars and the existing groundwork that will be done for future hangars and one thing. And then this guy had 2 or 3 twins that he had based up there around LaPorte or up in that neck of the woods. He thought, well, maybe I could just move them down here. But he needs the hangars to be higher, Joe. So anyway, you know, whether or not he'll ever come down here and rent a hangar, I don't know, but you just don't know what you're going to bump into and who's going to show
Well,
up.
it'd be
at your
good
doorstep.
if he's going to stay overnight, he can throw it in there, you know?
Yeah.
Throw it. We ought to leave one open for a rental hangar, you know what I mean? But it'd have to be tall enough to handle a twin or, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand you'd lose the money on a monthly basis, but, I mean, if I land someplace and I can't park it inside, I don't go.
Yeah. So that's a good thought. So anyway,
Yeah.
but
Like an Airbnb for an airplane.
Yeah.
Have one for, yeah.
be a ground B&B for an airplane. Anyway, so, but you just don't know what you're going to bump into and what kind of opportunities are going to show themselves. So, or when, or where, or who, or how.
Yeah, and all the above.
So, but anyway, we had a good conversation with them.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do that with the Boyer hangar, make that the rental hangar. There we go.
That could be done.
It can be done, yeah.
And,
Would it need to be closed in, or does it work just as a 3-sided?
well, I'd be happy if I just had a roof over, but.
One that
I
will
don't
stay
know.
up there?
Yeah. So I don't know, it's just, because, you know, because like I said, we'd be missing some money if we did a rental not a rental hangar, but, yeah, a rental hangar, transient. But we'd lose that income off that one hangar. Is that a big deal? To where we dump money into the Boyer hangar, save that building, but then we'd have to build another building to put the equipment in.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm just keep on spending money.
Keep it up, keep it up. We got plenty of challenges out there to deal with, there's no question
Yeah.
about it.
Because we don't want to leave the John Deere outside.
So,
Good?
good?
Motion to adjourn?
Carl, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Chris, you're apparently done. Phil, you got anything?
I'm good.
Kelly?
Good.
Chris?
I'm good.
Joel? Joe, last chance.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Well, then we will stand adjourned. Thank you all.
right.
this inaugural meeting of the Board of Aviation Commissioners in downtown Peru. And all you kiddies out there in TV land, it's been nice having